When you're feeling stuck in life, you should aspire for more. Connect to the universe, and you will find that you are worthy of everything that you desire. Hello, hello, everyone. How are you doing? I hope you're well. I am Dr. Tammy, and I am here. Finally here. Oh my goodness. It's one of those days where things just don't happen the way that I think they should. So, who am I? I am Dr. Tammy, your success strategist and literacy educator. I help you strategize how to move in the direction of more and prepare for what's next. So, let's chit chat. Please, as you come in, say hello to me. Tell me where you're joining me from so that way I can say hello to you. I am using this platform, so it may be a bit awkward on where I'm looking and where what I'm moving. If it's a hand or an eyeball, something's moving, and I may just miss you. So I'm gonna check everything on my other device, and I want us to talk about launch out into the deep. So y'all know my topics come from a personal space because that's just me. That's just what I do. So, hey, Trifania, how are you? How's it going? I had to look on my other device. I got it here. I missed my little stand that I have. Thank you for joining me. So, we're going to talk about launch into the deep. So, let me just say this past year has been really interesting for me. And I have had so much happen, so much that you don't know happen. And I'm sure I'll tell it soon. So it's coming. It's coming. But one of the things that I'm in the midst of right now is transition. And I have been in transition for a little while. I've been in transition for a little while. But ah, and I've been procrastinating on a few things because I'm one thing that I'll just be honest about. I am a very indecisive person when it comes to big decisions. Like I am probably over analytical, and that's not always a good thing. So it can stall. And I hope that today, this is kind of what has resonated with me today, and I'm hoping launch into the out into the deep will resonate with you. I don't know where you are in your life or what goals you have. I know we're ending a year and we're starting a new year. We're ending a quarter, and so it's a great time to start thinking about what's next. And I know that I have a lot going on and I have some tight deadlines because I've procrastinated. I have some very tight deadlines because I waited to the last minute. And one thing that I know, and you've probably heard me say it before on this show, is that, some people tend to stop right before their breakthrough. And today I had to eat my words and I had to realize that that is exactly where I am. That is exactly what I'm doing. That is exactly what is happening right now. Like, I know that greater and bigger things are coming. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. I know that I have done things in a way and I have been really reflective to where I know that everything I'm doing is it's time. It's time for me to do it. And I'm not doing things haphazardly. I'm not doing things just because I'm not, impulsive about what I'm doing. Like this has been about a year and a half of me really, doing the inner work and having these conversations with myself about what it is that's next. And I realized that y'all, like now is the time. Like what I'm doing right now, I started last year, but I stopped and I paused. I procrastinated because I wasn't ready. I was ready. Let me clarify. I was ready. I was, I felt like I needed clarity. I needed something to say, it's okay. And I think that sometimes that happens to us. We get stuck on the shore. I'm all about metaphors, so here's a metaphor for you. I think that we get stuck on the shore. I think that we tend to stop and stall and become bystanders and just watch and hang out with the crowd. And that happens to us. And I think, if you think about something that you're not doing, that may be happening, to you. And it's happening to me. And so I started thinking about, okay, launch into the deep, launch into the deep. Like, you just got to go. Like, nothing happens on the sideline. Have you ever been to a football game? Ever been to a basketball game? Nothing happens on the sideline. We're just chilling out. Everything happens in the middle. Everything happens where very few can go. And so that's what I mean by deep. Deep is somewhere far away. And it doesn't mean literally. So that doesn't mean that you're somewhere far away literally. It just means that you really have to do some reflecting and maybe looking into your heart, your mind, some soul searching. You may even have to take some time to realize, like, am I really self-aware? And, I know that we stop before it's time. We stop before our time. And we miss a lot that is for us because we give up too soon. We stop too soon. That's where I had to realize that I am. Like, I'm here. Like, there's so much that I know that I have planned, that I have set up to happen for me. And I have prepared, I guess is more a better word, prepared to happen. And it's about to happen. But you get a little scared. Like, when you're out of your comfort zone, it scares you just a little bit, just a little bit. And this really scares me. Multiple things. Like, it's not just personal, it's also in business. Like, a lot of those things are happening now, and I've worked for 3 years for it. Like, I have put in the work, I have done what I needed to do, but when it happens, it's a bit surreal, it's a bit different. But sometimes we get to the point where we think nothing's happening. And I think things are happening a little slower than I like, because anybody knows I am one, like, if it's not happening, I'm gonna make it happen. And so I've been really intentional about not doing that this time, and not allowing myself to do that, like, to really wait, because I think there's everything that happens and good things to happen in good time. So, but sometimes you think that you've done all you can do. You think that there's no hope, and we tend to give up. And give up may be to move on to something else. Give up may mean to stop doing as much as we've been doing. Give up will look different to each person, but you know what it means. And sometimes we want to go back to the shore. We want to just go where it's easy, where it's comfortable, because it's less stressful. And, there's several things that have happened in this past week that have really, told me that I'm really overthinking it. I'm really doing too much. Yes, the X factor. Yes, Trifania. The X factor is what keeps us on our toes. And so we have to remember that we have that thing. And anything that is for you is for you. Anything that has been designated and designed for you is for you. So no matter what happens, nobody's going to take it. Now, if you give up on it, if you say deuces and you let it go, I do believe that someone else gets it. I do believe that it moves to the next person who has that talent and ability to do it. I don't believe it just kind of stays out there. And I think there's always someone waiting on what you have. You are actually holding on to someone's breakthrough. you're actually keeping someone from their breakthrough. And so no matter what it is, and sometimes that breakthrough is your own. And that's kind of where I am. Like in business, I know that that's other people's breakthrough, but in personal, it's mine. And it's easy to say, I'm not going to do. I am going to wait, or I'm going to put it off, or I am, maybe that's not for me, to second guess ourselves, self-doubt. Oh my goodness, huge, right? We doubt ourselves and we doubt what we're doing and what's happening. So those are some of the things we do. And so what you desire, though, is not on the shore. What you desire is not in the shallow end of the pool. What you desire is not on the sidelines. Like, you have to work for it. Like, it's not going to be easy. You can't expect it to be easy. We want it to. Don't get me wrong. We want it to be, but it's not. And so we have to realize that because it's not, we have to be willing to put in the work. And sometimes that work is 3+ years. Sometimes that work is 2 years. Sometimes that work is 10 years. Like, for each of us, it's really different. And I know that that it's time. And so you got to think, what is it that you've been putting off, that you haven't been doing, that it may be time for you to. And, it's a lonely place. It really is. It's a lonely place to be. It doesn't happen the way we want it to, none of that. So we have to be willing to hang out, and we have to stay in the flow. How many times have you read that on my IG wall or on this page, or, something I've said on a live video, is that you really have to stay in the flow. And sometimes when we decide to give up, we decide to stop, we realize there's no hope. We think there is no hope. We want to stop, but you can't. You got to keep going. And you have to launch into the deep. You got to go in the place that no one wants to go. You got to go to the place that you don't want to go. You have to go there. And sometimes that journey is not straight. It's crooked. It's filled with unexpected things that's going to happen, which I think has been my last week, between having health things and things happen in the family and things happen on my job and being requested to come here. My dean asking me to come here to this conference when it wasn't on my schedule. Like, things like that happen to throw us off track, to tell us that, oh, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You are, you need to stop what you're doing. You need to move on, or whatever. And sometimes that's it. So Trifanian says, sometimes I close my eyes and jump in straight. Exactly. And that's what you have to do. Like, you have to really, it's uncomfortable. Oh. It is really uncomfortable. And oftentimes looking while launching makes me slower and knocks you off. Exactly. So sometimes you just got to do it. I think about, when we were little kids and you had something, you had, those Band-Aids, they had those, I don't even know if they make them anymore. Those Band-Aids, they really stuck to you, like they hurt. Like, even if you had no hair on your hand or your arm or your leg, you pull them off, they just hurt. And they just say, rip the Band-Aid off, like rip it off. And that's kind of that cliche that we say too, right? About like, just do it. And I think that's part of it, is that we gotta just do it. And the other thing you got to think about, like, if you stop, it's not going to happen. If you stop, you're going to miss what it is you want. And you're going to always have that desire, like lingering in the back of your head, like, what is it I'm going to do? The other thing is, I've realized we reap the level of our investment, which means if you're not putting in much, you're not going to get much. If you put in a lot, you're going to get a lot. So if it came easy, it probably wouldn't be what you wanted. And you got to think that you're putting in all this work, it's going to be worth it. You just got to believe that. Like, I can't promise you, but I believe that. And I encourage you to believe that. Like, you will reap the level of your investment. So whatever you put into it. And so if it's been a long time, it's taken a long time, just roll with it. Because you never know. You never know. we don't want to miss what's for us. The other thing is, okay, so one, you reap the level of your investment. You must move out of your comfort zone. But the other thing, you got to be willing to fight. Sometimes that's fighting your mindset, your beliefs. Sometimes that's fighting people, not literally. Now, I don't mean literally. Don't go get in a fight and go to jail. But that means fighting those people who are the naysayers. Like, really, I think about T.I.'s song, Motivation. Like, sometimes those people who are saying negative things about you, doing negative, they're your motivation. And so you have to use that. You can't let them stop you from doing what you're doing. So sometimes you have to fight even what you know. This is how this plays out. Oh, I've seen this experience. I've seen XYZ experiences. I've seen this other person experience it. Sometimes we think we know what it is. We think we know what it looks like, but sometimes you have to fight that. So sometimes it's your mindset. It's the way you think of it. Because when you are working on something for you, it's not going to look like anyone else's. When you're working on something for you, it's not going to be like anyone else's. When you're working on something for you, it's not going to move like anyone else. And so it's different. And so you have to be willing to do it and go with it, fight for it. Um, so so you got to stop preparing to give up and start preparing for what's next. And I think when we launch into the deep, when we go out of our comfort zone, when we go and really evaluate what's going on and reflect on what's going on, that's when the great things can happen. Part of that is getting your vision back. Part of that is realizing why it is you're doing what you're doing and keep doing it, right? And so sometimes we have to do that. So when I'm talking about launching in the deep, I'm talking about going where no one else has gone. Go do what no one else has done and be willing to do those things that are different. Be willing to be different, be willing to look different, be willing to sound different, be willing to experience something different. Because I think we want to experience something that's the same, and it won't be the same. It won't happen the same. And so I encourage you to launch into the deep, go far away. And sometimes you may find there's a room in your mind or your heart, um, maybe even your soul, that you'll find that will, you know, reveal to you what it is, and remind you of what you're doing, and you'll see the benefit. So, okay. So, all right, Dr. Tammy. You're telling us to launch into the deep, to go where no one else has gone, to do those things no one else is willing to do it afraid, but do it anyway. Just go. Like Trifania said, we're just going to close our eyes. We're just going to jump. We're going to go right into it. We're not going to stop. Yes. So here's some things. I'm going to give you 10 things just to recap what we've talked about today. If you're catching me on the replay, thank you for making it this far, for one. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, thank you. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and to my channel, and follow me. I go live occasionally. I'm trying this. I'm trying this out. We'll see how it goes. But also, make sure you say hello to me in the comments and tell me that you've joined me on the replay if you've gotten this far. So let me just recap. If you're launching into the deep, what does it require? What do you have to do? All right, so I'm talking to myself, y'all. Like, this is the list I made for myself. This is the list of what I'm doing this week. This is my focus. Because, like, I am here and I'm not done. Like, when I get home, there's another event that I'll be doing the rest of the week. Like, it's nonstop. And sometimes, especially when it comes to my business and I don't have time to work on it like I want to just, I just want to give up, right? So we're not going to do that. We're going to keep going. All right. So one, be willing to go alone. Be alone. Like, you must find time alone. Like, I decided I'm not going to go out tonight. I'm going to stay in. I'm going to eat, but I'm going to stay in. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to go down by the river walk and do all this stuff. I'm just going to process and really Strategize. Y'all know I'm a strategist, so we got to have a strategy. So create my strategy or revamp, redo, whatever my strategy. That's right. So, but you must be willing to go alone, be alone, and go alone. Number two, step out of your comfort zone. Don't expect it to be comfortable. Expect it to be uncomfortable and be okay with it being uncomfortable and go and do it anyway. So that's where I am. This is a really uncomfortable space for me. It's a really uncomfortable time for me. It's really a time when I am not literally biting my nails, but I'm biting my nails. But yeah, but so two, step out of your comfort zone. Be willing to be uncomfortable. Number three, dream big, bigger, because you must know your vision in order to be willing to go. Hey, Lorvelle, how are you? Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a minute. How are you, my dear? What's new? So, number three is dream big. Dream big, dream bigger, bigger. That's my thing. I always say dream bigger. So, dream bigger. And be willing to, number four, assess that dream, assess your vision, really go through and evaluate it. Make sure it's yours. Like, you got to make sure that you're doing what you're meant to do. You'll know if it's not, because one, you're not good at it. Two, there'll be other things in the way. But definitely, number four, assess your vision. Check it. Check it out. Number five, prepare, boxing gloves on, prepare to fight. Fight through it, fight through the mindsets that are the negative mindsets, so just be willing to fight through the people who are in the way, who's stopping you. Be willing to fight through the situations that come up. Be willing to fight. Prepare to fight. You got to go. You got to keep going. Just keep going. Thank y'all so much for scribing. I appreciate that. Fight through it. There you go. Prepare to fight. Number six, invest in your vision. You've got to be willing to put in the work. You got to go forward. You just got to go, because remember, you will reap the level of your investment. And so if you want all that is for you, you got to give it your all. You've got to go through it and do it all. Yes. Right? So you must be willing to invest in which you want. Whatever you want, you got to put that level of investment in there. And so I encourage you to do that. Number seven, stay in the flow. Don't lose momentum. Keep going. Even if it's one thing you're doing, like, just keep going. Don't stop. Don't give up. Keep going. Because that's what we want to do. We want to get on the sideline. We want to stay on the shore, but we want to keep going. So stay in the flow of life, the flow of your vision. If you have a goal and you have your strategy and you're doing this, you stay in the flow. Don't stop. Don't stall out. Don't go to the shore and hang out with the crowd. Stay in the flow and keep going. Number eight, go all in. All in. Like, just do it all. Go all in. Go all the way in. Don't stop. Just don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Because it's too difficult, because it's too challenging. Don't stop. Go all in. Number nine. Okay. So this one is more of a caveat. This one's more of a caution, but it's also something you got to do. If you're launching into the deep, if you're going where no one is gone, if you're going into really reaching for what you desire. Number nine, know when you need assistance. I am horrible at asking for help. Let me just say that. I am horrible about asking for help. But sometimes you got to know when you need assistance. And that assistance may be from different places. It may be an organization, it may be a person, it may be a thing, it may be something. But know when you need assistance, because you need help on your journey sometimes, and so you really have to tap into it. So know when you need assistance and be willing to ask for it. And I think that's all of them. Did I I think, oh, 10. Number 10. Number 10. Y'all ready for number 10? Number 10 is difficult. Number 10 is hard, but we've got to do it. So this is my thing this week, is trust yourself. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Know that if you know without a shadow of a doubt that that's what you're supposed to do, and you're only doubting it is because it's taking so long, because you've been putting in all this work and you're not seeing any progress, believe me, everything is flowing. There's something flowing and you may not see it. And so that's why you got to stay in the flow. There's something flowing that you may not be, that may not be in your awareness at the moment, but there's always something working for you. There's always working on your behalf. So stay in the flow. So trust yourself. Trust yourself and trust yourself and trust yourself. Have I said that enough? Talking to myself. Trust myself. Like, I know that I have prepared for this. I prepared for what's next. I've thought about it every which way. I've flipped it around in my brain. I know, but sometimes it's just about trusting yourself. So trust yourself. Trust yourself. And the bonus. And the bonus. Be patient. Oh. Now, I'm going to tell you that that's the virtue that I have the most trouble with, y'all, is patience. And so it's been a work in me. I think that's probably why I'm an educator, because it's gotten better being an educator. But that is still something I work on constantly, and that's being patient. And I'm a lot better. I'm actually pretty good. But when it gets to something that I can just taste it, I can feel it, it's just like, it's right there. Gotta just take a deep breath, because I just need to be patient. Be patient. Not only with the situation, but be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself. So there we are, y'all. This week, think about how you can launch into the deep. It's time. So it's time for us to go where no one else is gone. It's time for us to go far away. It's time for us to trust ourselves in that journey and just go. Go all the way. Go deeper. Whatever you're doing right now is surface. Go deeper. Go deeper. What is the next level? Whatever it is for you, go there. Go deeper. So that's it. That's it. Launch into the deep. Go deeper. Trust yourself. Be willing to be uncomfortable. Go alone. Dream bigger, which means you have to go deeper to get it. It's not going to just fall in your lap. It's not just going to come to you. So come prepared to put in the work. So thank you all for joining me. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here and hanging out with me today. I am really excited about what's to come. Although I have moments this week where I'm really afraid and scared. And it's only because I know that it can happen if I put in the work. I know it will happen if I put in the work. So it's trusting yourself and listening and being willing to reflect, to go at it alone, going alone, all alone. All alone on this journey. Thank you. Thank you for joining me, Lorvelle. I appreciate you. It's been a long time. I feel like we need to catch up because it's been so long. But thank you for joining the broadcast today and being here with me. For all of you that are joining me, I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me on the replay. Thank you for those of you that are here live, that transcribe the 10 things that's going to help us launch into the deep and go where no one else is gone, and to get what no one else can get because it's ours. So let's go get it. I have so many things coming up in the future. So make sure that you're following me on social media. Make sure that you're hanging out with me. You can follow me here at Dr. Tammy Francis. You can also follow me at C4C Global One. That is our community page. That's where we share things that's going on in the community. I usually share them on here too, but the community page is where I share some of those things. Definitely, I invite you to travel with us. We're traveling. And when you travel with me, that's when you get some time with Dr. Tammy. And part of that is where I used to have my mastermind groups separate, but now it's a part of those travel experiences. So some of them are just for fun, but most of them are for you to hang out with me and for us to strategize and plan what's next. And so I invite you as we go into a new year, a new quarter, a new decade, is that it's time for us to go into the deep. We got to launch out into the deep, and I'm willing to help you do that. I'm doing it. As you can see, I got my list. We're going to get this going. I got my playbook. I'm ready. And so, if you haven't gotten your copy of the playbook, this is a great time to grab your copy of the playbook. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on my website. So, definitely check it out. If you're on YouTube, this is my YouTube channel. If you're not on YouTube, this is it. If you're on YouTube, well, you already know because you're here. Make sure you like and subscribe, and make sure you follow me on other platforms as well. So, I appreciate that. Um, yeah, so I'm just going to be out of here. I'll see y'all later. Y'all take care. Um, I am excited what this season's going to bring. So hang out with me. Let's launch into the deep. I'll see you soon. Go up, like, turn on your notifications if you're on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe. If you give me a thumbs down, keep it walking. Just leave it alone. Just my mama said, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say it at all. So don't put a thumbs down. Love you all. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.